close to making a game, didn't make those plays. That's a very, very good football team that, I believe. I mean, I'm not their whatever PR person, but when it's all said and done, that team's right there. I'd like to see 3 or 4 teams better than them. The way they're playing, the way they're getting stronger and stronger as the year goes on. Very good team, and so for us, we got to put it behind us. We've lost to some good football teams. 3 of our 4 losses are top 10 teams or top 11 teams. 3 of them are top 11. All of them are in the top 20. Good football teams. We have to find a way. We had an opportunity in the teams that were just outside the top 10 or to make plays, to win those games. I'm as frustrated as most people to try to get better, try to find those plays to win those games. But we're not defeated. We have to regroup in a hurry and get ready to go on the road and try to get win number 7 for us here this week at South Carolina, a team that obviously has played much better the past 2 weeks. I've also played some very good football teams and are more than capable of playing well in all phases. They're always strong in special teams. Their offense is extremely explosive. Spencer Rattler's a guy that's been around for a long time. I feel like their running back is playing at a very, very high level. And defensively, made a few changes this past week. It'll be interesting to see which direction they go. Schematically, not totally, but definitely some mix-ups that we have to be prepared for, some change-ups, and a very good team. And we're looking to just get better, have a great week, and go down there in another very tough environment and try to get a win.
Mark, the losses you spoke of to those top 11 teams, Georgia and Alabama being 2 of them, what did it tell you about the types of players you need to recruit?
Well, that's what I think. What is there, 136 in 1A now? It's about 133 of us are looking for those. There's 2 or 3 of them that have them, top to bottom like that, and certainly some of the others that I don't study as well, but I know Michigan, Ohio State, and some others. Some of the teams out west have some really good teams as well. But, I put those 2 against anybody. They're just very good football teams.
Rattler.
Pardon me? You said it, but I'll second that, yes.
Rattler's able to create quite a few explosives if he has time back there. So after a pretty rough outing in the secondary, how do you kind of try to get him to regroup?
You're right, similar in that he can buy time, and he's also very good in the pocket, and it was a problem this past week. So we have to do a better job in both areas. Our rushes, we need to be better at rushing, more disciplined, more relentless, secondary guys, getting to the quarterback, not rushing past the quarterback, letting them have that easy pocket to step up into, and then plastering and covering and being better down the field as well. Because he is similar in that way. Spencer's got a very good feel for moving around the pocket.
You and Brett both mentioned that you'll try it a lot, especially in third downs, whether it's blitzing, everything. Is it maybe a case where less might mean more?
I think everything's fair to look at. When we analyze games, I mean, contrary to what people think, we're not as hard-headed as everybody thinks. I mean, we look at everything, and we second-guess ourselves, of course. When something doesn't work, maybe we should have done this or that. And so we look at a lot of things and analyze it all the time. Late in the year, it's not like we can't, we constantly make subtle changes and try to do the best we can to put our players in a position to be successful. Sometimes it's very hard matchups. You know what I mean? You got to try to, you got to win. And you can't protect all the time. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of magical calls. You've heard me say that for years. You got to win. And so when you're playing very elite teams, you know, they have answers for you. You know, and you're in zone, they go here. You're in man, they go here. And especially when you have a quarterback that does such a nice job of running and buying time in the pocket.
Mark, it feels like I've asked you this a couple of times this year. Just
You guys face so many good pass catchers, but what makes Leggett so good for them? I know he's really big.
He's a big, strong guy and can really run. So I think that's, you know, the biggest thing is size, speed, and strength, and makes competitive plays and been around for a while.
Mark, what did Dow Loggins' first year calling plays? What have you seen from him, and what kind of challenges does his offense bring?
Yeah, I really like Dow. I like him as a person, as a coach. I think he's very creative. They create explosive plays. I mean, they're making a lot of hay on first and second down, and you know, P and 10, you know, explosives. They like to get the ball moving, and when they get moving, they could really, you know, go. So, you know, I think they do a nice job of creating explosive plays.
You think there's a chance you could get Andrew Phillips back next week?
I hope so. We'll see. Yeah, I hope to.
Mark, outside of that,
It seems like what you all refer to as eye discipline has been a problem, kind of a persistent problem. Well, should experience fix that, or what's the key to sort of getting that tightened down?
Well, there's different levels and different variations of that. You know, coming out of coverage or doing some of that, some plays that are off schedule. You know, it really happens to everybody. I don't care. Watch pro ball. Watch it all. It happens to everybody. Now, I'd like to not see it happen, you know, over and over again. But it happens. You know, to me, you know, that's one thing. And then the other eye discipline with Candy, with run game and different things like that. I mean, that's kind of football. You know, not everybody's stagnant anymore. And so we've been very good at that at times. And I mean, even, you know, I mean, you go back and I want to open myself to criticism, but it's like a team like Missouri and how good they are with all that. Like there's a large portion of that game we play very good defensive football against a team that's moving around everybody. You know, so you know, it's not constant. I mean, I wouldn't say that. You know, I think we've played with some of the teams we've played that the off schedule plays have really hurt us. I mean, heck, in that game, a fake punt is off schedule. You know, for a 50. You know. For a 50-yard gain, you know, you take that out, and there's some good plays in there. Good game. It's a good football game, man. You know, it's close. So.
Mark, outside of that,
Long run by Ramon. It seems like the explosive plays haven't quite been there in the run game.
Yeah.
I know you talked earlier in the year about, you know, maybe trusting the backs.
Trusting the play instead of bouncing out. Is it something like that, or is it run blocking? What is the
No, I think yeah, you're correct. I think you know, our yards per attempt were just not very impressive if you take that run out. So yeah, we need to be a little more efficient. We need to get back to point of attack. You know, some strong defenses up front, but we still have to do a better job. You know, and we've done a nice job of getting the ball in the perimeter at different times and mixing that in, but also needing to get yards, you know, with our power run game, our inside run game, and you know, so we need to get some movement, make sure we get back to being a little more physical in all sides, whether it's the O-line, tight ends, and backs, making sure they hit the hole and getting the tough yards. If it's a 4-yard run, then get 4 or 5, you know, and go from there.
I understand you expect your team to get up for any SEC opponent, but there's a chance to keep them out of the postseason to kind of play spoiler here. Is that something you think you can maybe pull some more out of your guys?
Zero influence on me on what happens to them. None, and I don't think our team either. Bowl placement is a reality for us. I think, you know what I mean? I think improving our placement, improving our record in the SEC, you know, getting another win, you know what you know what it's worth. I mean, so I think that motivation is more what we're concerned about is us trying to get another win. get to 500 in the SEC and get to another win and improve our placement.
When you're behind a team like, as you mentioned there, Shane does a lot of things on special teams. You mentioned their offensive coordinator, very creative. Do you try to prepare for everything, or do you just say we can't worry about that, we got to do fundamental things?
Yeah, we have to apply rules when it comes to that. Well, you're talking two different things. If you're talking offensively or if you're talking special teams, you do have to prepare for a lot. And the big thing is apply the rules and have great discipline. And getting back to your question with the just even in all special teams applying rules, because people can get creative with different ways to create formations. College football is way more liberal than pro football with what we can do and how we can, disguise, formations and eligible receivers and things of that nature. So that's the kind of stuff we have to be on point with in that area. And there is a lot, we could try to create a lot, to create every one of them, not so much. We don't have time for that, to your point. But offensively, I think it's, I think we all understand that run, play action, pass, shots, when are they going to take their shots? When are they going to go for that? Setting them up, what formations, window dress them, different ways. I mean, that, I think just applying our rules in anticipation and then making plays. We talked about some of their wideouts and their big guys that can run and making plays down the field.
Just a couple weeks ago, you guys won on the road at night at Mississippi State. And I know you had a game in between. Is there something, they're still fighting for postseason, like I mentioned earlier. Is there something you pull from that road environment win just a couple weeks ago? Well,
I think it doesn't hurt. I mean, we just went and did that and played in a tough environment, and it takes some concentration, it takes some resolve, it takes some toughness from your football team to really lock in and go on the road with that mentality and pull the victory off. Hopefully, we could learn a few things from that, and hopefully we could clean up a few things from that game as well.
Mark, in regard to special teams, specifically the punting game, it's been a little bit precarious this year. What is your thought process in regard to personnel changes?
Well, right now, I mean, our team is what it is. I mean, if I felt like there was somebody there right now that could help us, as I mentioned in several other press conferences, we would do that. I thought we were better in this past game with a dynamic return game. At least if we weren't hitting the great punch, John, we had good net. Our nets were decent. So I think we got fortunate with one bounce, and then he hit a couple good ones with some hang that didn't give him a chance for a big return, which helped us. So I thought we were a touch better. At least it didn't, completely, really hurt us in the net punting game this past week. Now their punter, that was another one. They didn't have to punt too many times, but when they did, that was another level.
Mark, in the losses, Missouri was a fast start, but the other three games, offensive second possession, they're down. You're all down double digits that fast. Is there anything sticking out with the slow starts and why those are happening?
Well, we're not getting first downs. I mean, obviously, stating the obvious there, but I think we came up with a half yard short, one time, and I went for it another time at one of the games, and so yeah, it gets a bit frustrating. I think, I can't put my finger on any one thing. We need to execute better. We need to fight for those yards. We need to get those. And, coaches say it a lot of different ways. Fight for the inches, a yard, a play, here or there. And those are the things we really got to focus on, and starting is one of them. If you have the ball, it doesn't matter whether you open the game with it or first possession or whatever. But, even getting a couple first downs, getting the ball moving does help. It helps your confidence. It helps with field position. It helps with a lot of things. It helps with plays, as we've mentioned in here many times. Too many 3 and outs. You're not getting enough touches. That hurts, a lot of things. So we need to try to have better answers. I think coaches would be the first one to tell you that we need to put them in better position. Let's give them a chance to be successful, and then let's execute and let's play.
Coaching carousels already cranked up. Jimbo lost his job yesterday. I know you've got a close relationship. Did you anticipate that? Have you reached out to him or anything?
I haven't reached out yet. I'm sure he's got way too much on his plate right now. No, I haven't reached out, and I know guys on their staff that I'm friends with as well. I haven't reached out to anybody. I've had my own things going on here to try to put our team in a position to win, but I think we all know what's part of the gig here in this league, in particular, and same with Zach. Didn't see that coming either, but don't know Zach that well. But he got put in that was a tough position to be put in.
Mark, JJ tweeted out.
Defense being stressed by not being able to get Alabama off the field with all the 3 and outs.
Pardon me?
Your defense being
Stress.
stressed.
Yeah.
Alabama couldn't get off the field.
Yeah, I think it's fair. It's always team. I mean, not pointing fingers at any one area. Our defense had opportunities to get off the field. We couldn't do it. And then 3 and outs or turnovers don't help either. So it goes hand in hand when you're playing a really good team. And yes, it can overwhelm you, because you have to play good in all areas. And as I've mentioned again in here many times, we're not dominant enough in any one phase to just take over a game. We have to play well as a team to win big games.
Thanks, Mark. JJ tweeted out a little bit ago that he's letting some people down. Have you sensed from him and maybe some other players that they're just feeling a bit discouraged or unhappy with the current run of form?
Yeah, I think it's human nature. When things go wrong, you know what I mean, and things are going bad. To react in different ways. And I think, you could definitely see some frustration in JJ, not even this last week and not towards anybody, maybe just kind of down and he's worked hard. He's been around here a long time. He's been a really good player for us. And I think, sometimes players, are pressed and want to make plays, want to do well for themselves, for their team, for their future, for a lot of things. And, the bottom line, and I'm not pointing this towards JJ, but towards any player, it comes down, it's a fundamental game. You'll make plays when technique and opportunity meet, and if you have great technique and you're working hard and you're relentless and you're doing things the right way, eventually, the production will be there.
Speaking of that, Mark, obviously Alabama had given up a whole lot of quarterback sacks, and they didn't give up any Saturday. After you look at the tape, is there any big explanation?
Yeah, I was disappointed, and that's a fair point. You know what I mean? We just didn't do a very good job of getting to the quarterback. We did.
Mark, over the past couple of years, you've had your fair share of victories against programs like Missouri and South Carolina, and yet it seems like this year the success of those programs is what your critics use as a primary ammunition against you and your program. Is that fair in your mind?
It doesn't. That I don't take this the wrong way. I mean, I don't care. I spend zero time thinking about that at all. I mean, zero. I mean, Eli and I are friends. I talk to him, and I mean, look, last year he was enduring a lot more pressure than I'm enduring right now, right? I mean, he was getting a lot, and he's having a heck of a year. And now I'm picking his brain. Hey, man, what are you doing? You know what I mean? What's going on? Because we don't play him next year, so, he's done a heck of a job. And, all of us are built that way. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I mean, if you're successful in this league and hang around for a while, you're going to have thick skin. You're going to take it, that's why I never get too excited. I mean, have you ever seen me really, really excited after a win? I know it's about 7 days till I get a dart thrown right back in the middle of my chest. So, I mean, that's why I don't get overly, I get excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited for my players. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the coaches. But I don't ever get too high and I don't ever get too low.
Kind of building off that, I know obviously you don't have time to scour social media or message boards, but certainly there's a lot of sniping between this fan base and South Carolina, especially in the past year. Have you noticed that maybe it seems like this rivalry has intensified since you've been here? And obviously, You got a lot to do with that, because, I mean, they dominated this rivalry before you got here, and you've won 7 of 9.
I haven't noticed, I don't notice, about
I didn't know like fans come to you.
Yeah.
Like, "Mark, we gotta beat the Gamecocks."
about 6 months ago or 5 months, I don't know, I got a new phone. I don't know how to work it no more with my Twitter. I don't. I swear I don't. I don't know how to work X, so it's kind of a good thing for me. I don't see a damn thing. So, I just got this because I had some, I had to make sure my ticker was working right last week. But I don't know how to use that, so I really don't. I pay no mind to it. It's competitive each and every week. As I just mentioned to the previous question, I don't get too high, too low. I don't have any personal, you know what I mean? There's nothing personal to me. It's about our university, our institution, our players, our fans, working really hard to put them in a position to win. And I think, everybody's like that.
Mark, Liam mentioned last week that Nasir Addison was a guy that's caught his eye. I know he had the fumble recovery on specials, and with all the injuries at corner, is he a guy who can help the rest of the way?
He could help and hopefully, really give us some hope and some depth for the future because he is put together, can run, needs some experience. And, I like what I'm seeing out of him, and I like his attitude.
Mark, there was a few bright spots with Deion Walker in that game, even that game where you guys did struggle on defense. You saying, ball placement, there's so much left on the table in these last 2 weeks. What kind of role does he play, not just on the field, but he is one of your captains, he is playing well?
Yeah. Well, I've been proud of Deion. I mentioned it. He's a guy that, much like, the previous question I was asking about somebody else, but like, adversity, it's going to hit all of us. There's going to be some good and some bad, and players are the same way. They're going to have some good games that the X, people are going to be patting them on the back. Sometimes people are going to be criticizing them, and they just got to keep a level head. But for young men, sometimes it could get rocky, and he hasn't been perfect, but he's been impressive. I'll just put it that way. During some lows or during some bad times, he's pulled himself right back up, and that's a sign of maturity. And that's a sign of somebody that could go on to big things as a leader and as a player, to not let it defeat you, not let it get you. And I think, I appreciate that about him. Coming from Detroit, you would expect that from him, right? You know what I mean? Yeah.
When you look at the film of like a game against Alabama, which Alabama's obviously really good, how do you grade your players' performance considering that you're not playing your average run of the middle team?
Well,
Is it hard to balance
it is
mistakes when you know that you're playing superior athletes?
It is at times. It is at times. Listen, we all have to own our stuff. Like if we have bad play, if we put our players in bad position, then that's on us. And I've said it before, and even through the years. I mean, like coaches, sometimes and early on, you've heard me talk about like trying to throw too much at the board. You know what I mean? To try to get a stop instead of being who you are and playing and doing that. And so there's enough criticism to go around all of us, and we all have to own that. And then there's matchup problems, and that's a reality, and so if you compete and you're in it long enough, I mean, you're going to win and you're going to lose. In individual matchups, you're going to win and you're going to lose. And I think you just have to look at each and every one of those scenarios and make sure you did everything you could, whether it was film study, anticipation, competitive nature, did everything you could to put yourself in a position to be successful. And that, I think, everybody can always look at and judge. And there's no escaping that. And there's no running away from that. And then there's other times when you're doing all those things and they beat you, and you just, that's, you could live with the results if you've done everything you can to put yourself in a position to win.
Mark, a lot of coaches don't like coaching against their friends. Rumor has it, correct me if I'm wrong, that the relationship you have with Coach Beamer, there's a little bit of an edge to it. Does that add any additional spice to
I have no idea where you would get that information from. I have no clue where that would come. I I mean, I don't feel that way. Maybe he does. I don't know. You have to ask him. But I don't feel that at all. It's another game, and we need it for our university, for our players. It has zero to do with me and Shane.
There's still a lot to play for in these two games.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. You know, we got to take them one at a time, and you know, like I said, you try to get to 7, try to improve our, you know, our position, and that's our full concentration. But we all know what lies with the last one as well. So.
I know on social media you don't pay a whole lot of attention to it, but
I told you I don't know how to work it anymore.
a lot of the fan base
Mm-hmm.
is as disgruntled as you are about the way the season has gone. What do you want to say to them to get them back connected?
No. When did I ever say I was disgruntled? You put words in my mouth. I never said I was disgruntled. I said I'll never be defeated. I mean, to be a touch disappointed. I'm not disgruntled. I'm not defeated. I'm not. You know, I'm on to the next. I'm going to go try to win this game. And to our fan base, what I would say is, again, thank you. They've been amazing. You know, I'm disappointed to lose some games at home when they've had such great environments. You know, there's been some really good environments. And that's what I ask for and appreciate that support. And I know our players do. And that's what it takes. You know, we're going down to a team right now that just won whatever it was. They won back-to-back games, but have had a bit of a struggle, and their stadium seems to be rocking as well. So, you know, that's what we need. You know, that's what we need in this league, and I would imagine this Saturday it'll be rocking down there. It'll be a great environment, tough environment.
I've been coming to games here for a day or two, and I don't ever remember the student support being as good as it's been the last
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah, I agree. Just amazing. They're in there early. They're loud, really rooting, and you know. So what I would say is thank you. You know, fans have every right to be react however they want. I mean, they pay the money, they go, they support. You know, I get it. You know, I want a competitive atmosphere as well.
Mark, you mentioned like the South Carolina's environment. How many times this week do you think you're going to hear Sandstorm? Are you a fan of that song?
Well,
You don't seem like an electronic guy.
I don't know how to work my phone, but yeah, you'll hear it. You guys will come over probably and cover us on Tuesday and Wednesday, and if you come early enough, you'll be hearing it playing in there. Because we'll hear it quite a few times. It's part of our crowd noise. You know, we got to create a lot of crowd noise for our communication, for offensively, as you know, and yeah, that'll be part of it.
Well, if you weren't for the game Saturday, he's doing a concert there. You can go to the
Pardon me?
He's doing the concert, freaking
concert there Saturday. You can go to it if you weren't ready to coach a game.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Mark, you
Yeah,
say you
so-
don't know how to work your phone.
Yeah.
Who's you go to guy to show you how to work it?
Oh, I got some guys. Everybody laughing. Everybody got some guys that can help me. Yeah, yeah.
You go to San Antonio to find that?